What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay. Fight predictions in the building, and I'll be breaking down AJ McKee versus Patricio Pitbull Jr. Or actually, I shouldn't call him Jr. I should call him AJ McKee Jr. versus Patricio Pitbull. Great fucking fight here. I love this fight. I mean, AJ McKee has been a real big prospect for a long time, and now has seized the, the chance to fight for gold. And I mean, he's looked amazing. I will give him his credit. He's looked real good here. Patricio Pitbull, in my humble opinion, will always be the greatest Bellator fighter of all time. I think he's right. He has to be pound for pound, right? I think so. On the Bellator rankings, he's pound for pound. I mean, Patricio, I know some people don't like him, right? But if you just have watched his fights, I've watched his fights for a minute, man, and this dude can bang, man. He is so. You do yourself a favor. He is, I think, at least I remember Bellator did this thing with like top 50 fights. He got at least 2 of them in there in the top 10. By the way, he has crazy fights. He gets crazy knockout power, and I mean, he's gotten so much better. His wrestling, he's just gotten so much better at everything. And honestly, I don't think he would beat Volkanovski, but he'd give him problems. I mean, he's a good fucking fighter, and I like Volk, so that's my thing. But if I wasn't a Volk fan, I might even lean towards Pitbull, but I like Volk so much, and I respect him, and he's such a crafty fighter. I would never disrespect him like that and say, oh, Patricio Pitbull knocks him out. But I feel like Pitbull has the right to say that because he is so good. Would he back it up? I don't know, but I truly believe I think it would be a crazy fight. They're both kind of short, and they both hit hard, man. And I would say I'd give the advantage to, Volk in the wrestling. But obviously, we're not here to talk about Volk versus Patricio. We're here to talk about Patricio versus AJ. And I love this fight. The storyline. This is the true number one contender versus the legitimate champion. This is the number one contender. And AJ McKee, they really wanted to, be the guy, right? And they've given him matchups. But he's fought some good guys. I give him his credit. I always thought he was a little overrated. And I truly believe Deron Caldwell was going to be the guy to beat this kid, and he proved me wrong. I'll give him his credit. He, against Caldwell, and I respect Caldwell a lot, and I don't know where Caldwell was at mentally since his last fight, but, I mean, he's proven me wrong, and it is what it is. But, you already know it's a breakdown. So let's look at the stats. Pitbull, 32-4, fights out of Brazil. Well, actually, I don't know if he's fighting out of Brazil, but they say he fights out of Brazil. Age 34, a height of 5'6", and a reach of 65.5. AJ McKee, 17-0. He's fighting out of Lakewood, California, so he's pretty close nearby. He trains with, what's his name? I don't know how I forgot that guy's name. I forgot the kiddo's name. I forgot. I'm sorry. I was blanking out. But yeah, he also trains with his pops out there, which is pretty dope. His pops was a fighter, so that's cool. Age 26, he's super young. Height 5'10", and a reach of 73. So he's really big for featherweight. I mean, he could, if he grows out, he could make a fucking lightweight. But I mean, dude, the kid he's wiry, he's long, he's really good he has a wrestling background, and he's a good striker. He's just like almost like John Jones-esque when John was coming through, and obviously picograms or not, the kid he was just so good at MMA, back in the day, obviously, but he latched onto it so easily. Like, I don't know how he fucking did it, but he just got it, and that's AJ, man. Even on an off day, he's just so much better than the competition. But if we look at these guys' last 5 fights, man, AJ, I mean, he's had a pretty good run. Obviously, he's ran through that tournament, beat some really good guys. I would have loved to see him fight guys like Emmanuel Sanchez to see if, someone could test his cardio. But, I mean, it is what it is. I remember the Daniel Crawford fight. I mean, he dominated this kid, picked him up, slammed him, and choked him out. He made it easy, and then, I mean, he's had some, and obviously then, you got the Pat Curran fight. That was a weird fight. I thought he did really good in there, and he looked good. He didn't look bad, but, that was kind of a weird fight, but he got the decision victory. And then the Gregorgy Kaharian, or whatever how you say the guy's name. I mean, that knockout and then the ground and pound, bro. Oh my god. And then the Derek Campos fight was a really good fight for him. I thought that was it's a good test. Derek's he's been in the Bellator for a minute. He's had crazy fights, crazy fights. So he got it done. Now Derek, it was tough. He's tough in there. He was a tough test for him, but he got him out of there in the third round. And he's just so well rounded. The kid can strike. He's power, legit power, and he can grapple, and he's really good. His submissions, all that, I give him his credit. He's good. They've said it. He's really good. And then his Caldwell fight. I mean, he hit a modified neck crank. I really truly believe, Duran's, wrestling accolades. Being a wrestler myself, I know Duran. I know how good of if you're a national champion, that means you're, high level. And Duran has not met, in my humble opinion, to what he's able to accomplish. Hopefully, I don't know if Duran watches this. The only fighter I think that's ever watched a video that I've actually responded to me was Giga Chikadze, and he responded to me on my IG, which was funny. But if Duran ever sees this, and he might not, and sorry for the interruption, but you already know. But if Duran ever sees this, man, this kid has not met his potential yet, in my humble opinion. He is so much better, and he's a former champion. All that shit. He's still, I feel like, me humbly, he can be so much better. And against AJ, I really thought he was going to test this kid. I thought he was going to test his will. I thought he was going to do so many things in there. And AJ caught him, I can't really say anything. I was kind of dumbfounded. I was like, how did that even happen to Duran? And it is what it is. It happened, and yeah, what can you say? But hey, now AJ's here fighting for the world title, and he got his shot. And yeah, but Pitbull, if we look at Pitbull's last few fights, the fucking GOAT, and we just look at his resume, man, like what he's accomplished and who he's fucking beat, man. He does have some losses, but his fights with, dude, the fights with, he has that loss to Pat Curran via split decision, and AJ beat Pat Curran, which is interesting when you look at it. But the fights with Daniel Stratus, it's just wild, man. And the fights with Daniel Welch, man, dude, the kid, you gotta rewatch some of these fights, man. He obviously had that loss to Benson Henderson, but he got the victory over Henry Corrales. But these are fights you gotta watch. They're crazy, man. They're fucking crazy. The fight with Daniel Stratus, he's so, and his guillotines are good, But yeah, and then there's that crazy fight with Emmanuel Sanchez, and it's just it's craziness. It's a lot of craziness. But I'll never forget one of my favorite moments for Patricio Pitbull was when he fought Chandler. Chandler, I don't hate Chandler. I know some people think I hate his guts, but I don't hate him at all. He's just a fake guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's who you are, that's who you are. And he acts like he's, all about Jesus and shit like that, but he has a mouth on him. He knocked out Patricky, Pitbull's, I think older brother, or young, I don't know. I think it's his older, because he's a little bigger than him. He knocked him out cold, right? And then he goes up to Patricio and just running his mouth, talking hella shit. Like, I knocked your brother out. And you just imagine being the younger brother. How does that feel? Someone's talking that much mess to you, and it's like, that's your family, right? So, what Patricio had on his back, what he had to do, and what he had to prove to Chandler, it was beautiful. It just knocked him out and, took him out of there. It was great to watch. And then his fight with Juan Archuleta, phenomenal performance. He looks so good in there. And the way he takes the center, y'all. I love the way how he fights. He takes the center and does not get, it doesn't get moved at all. And that's a good thing about him. He's not going to let anyone just, fuck with him, And he knows he's the champion. You got to come to me. And that's what I love about Pitbull. He's a little shorty. And, and that's what I like about sometimes shorter fighters. They're always in the pocket. That's why I like Kelvin Gastelum, guys like Henry Cejudo. I love those guys, right? Because they're always going to be in the pocket. Now, Henry, I feel like Henry even got better with training with Pitbull. Henry's confidence in his hands got a lot better when he started working with Pitbull. And And obviously, it kind of went vice versa with Pitbull getting better with his wrestling. Even in the one Archuleta fight, he kind of got a lot better. He was able to really stop Archuleta's movement, because that's one of Archuleta's calling cards is his movement. But he was able to just dominate him and just teach him a lesson and send him down to bantamweight, where Archuleta ended up becoming the bantamweight champion of the world in Bellator, which is good. And then his fights, this one, I don't know how I feel about Pitbull fighting Pedro Cavallo. This was the definition of a champion fighting a bum. I'm sorry, with all due respect. He destroyed him. It wasn't. Cavallo had nothing, and obviously you saw what happened to Cavallo in his last fight. He had nothing, he had absolutely nothing. So it is what it is. But yeah, and then Pitbull's last fight, Emmanuel Sanchez, he looked so good in there. He dropped him, then got the choke. Oh my god! And Sanchez pushed him in that in their first fight, and for him to run it back with Sanchez and just destroy him like that. And I know so hyped for that fight. So it's crazy. And that's what, this is where it leaves me. And at the end of the day, I think AJ McKee is a lot different from Emmanuel. Emmanuel is just straight output. I think AJ is a lot more special. He has real power and he's real finishing capabilities. I think that's the real big difference between AJ and Sanchez. So and I feel like those are the ways you got to push Pitbull is, going after his cardio, but he can go 5 and he can dominate. I don't know if AJ can, and that's what makes this fight so interesting. You got 2 finishers, right? We don't know. I would say I would give it to Pitbull in terms of the cardio factor because of he's just been in there longer and he's been the champion for a minute. So that's what I'm going to give him. But AJ's a lot long. He's lankier. And I think a part of me, I felt like AJ, almost like John Jones, I think he was half-assing some of his camps. And now I feel like since the Drawn Caldwell fight, I think especially since the Drawn, he's really been taking some of his camp serious, and I think he wants to be a world champion, and I think he really wants this now. But Pitbull is not a guy that's just going to give it to you, and that's what makes this fight so interesting. AJ, he has the reach, and I feel like he has to use it. He has to use his jab. He has to use his movement, and he cannot let Patricio Pitbull take a lead in the fight. If Pitbull takes a lead in the fight, he's so good at maintaining a lead. Look at what he did with Juan Archuleta. It's almost like a snowball effect when you fight him. He's not going to let you just fucking come back. He's going to put it on you. So AJ, in my humble opinion, needs to take the lead. He needs to take initiative, and he needs to back Pitbull up. It's a little dangerous because Pitbull got the counters, and it's not like he's going to back up too. He's going to take the center, but he's not going to come after you. He's not going to chase you. So what AJ has to do is maintain good pressure, accurate pressure, and healthy pressure. He cannot, Cavallo, he was stupid. He left his chin in the air and was trying to pressure him, He was a complete dummy. He got everything he deserved that day. But I think AJ's on a different level than Cavallo, and he's not going to get pressured like that. But yeah, and that's what AJ has to do. He has to use his reach. He has to use his hands. He has good hands. He's good boxing. I wouldn't say wrestle him. I think Pitbull's wrestling is just too good. Obviously, AJ has really, really good submissions. He's underrated there. He's long, but I don't think AJ can fuck with Pitbull in the wrestling. And for Pitbull, and that's one way I can see AJ winning, using his reach and stuff like that. But for Pitbull, I'm going to be honest, who I'm picking, he has to remind this kid, I've been here for a long time. I have 30-plus fights. You're not going to take this from me, kiddo. And that's what he's going to have to remind. He has to let him know he's the vet. He has to let him know he is there, right? He's been there for too long. And that comes with the way Pitbull fights and maintaining the center, and letting him know. And almost sometimes leading the dance. And what comes with being a vet is using your wrestling, using your fight IQ. And I just think Pitbull has that. If I was to even talk to Pitbull, talk to Pitbull, about game planning for this fight, dude, you're the champ. Let this kid know who is the boss here. You don't chase after this kid because he has long arms. And I think Pitbull should invest in the body. I think that's one way he could take advantage of AJ's reach. And you want to go to the head, you want to go to the head, you got to go to the body with a taller fighter sometimes. You saw TJ Dillashaw do it to Corey Sandhagen. He didn't really go to the body. He just broke the legs, but that's one way. And I think Pitbull should wrestle. I think he should wrestle and challenge this kid's pace. We haven't really seen him in those 4th and 5th rounds. We don't see what his true character is in the championship rounds. And I think if Pitbull can force that out of him, I think he can win it. I truly believe that. So I'm probably going to take Pitbull. I'm going to take him by decision. I just think he's the more well-rounded fighter, and I think he's going to use that when he fights AJ McKee. I think Pitbull gets this done by decision. But it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the fucking breakdown. Obviously, I was thinking about adding clips to this, but I didn't have enough time. But I was like, you know what? I might as well just talk to the homies about the fight. It's a great fight. Really good card, actually. I would say check out Bellator. Give it a watch. They got, Mads Barnell versus Emmanuel Sanchez as the co-main event. Usman Nurmagomedov versus Mandy Moreau. Who else? Chris Gonzalez versus Godiamchi. A lot of great fights on here. A lot of fun fights that I like. So check it out. It's gonna be a good card. Main event's gonna. Hey, if it ends up being bad, hey, it's on me. But I think there's no way this fight isn't going to be entertaining, or this card isn't going to be entertaining. I think you guys should check it out. Brett Primus is coming back too. I forgot about that. It's a really, really good fight against Islam Madeev. I think that's his name. So yeah, it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go follow me on my Instagram. Go follow me on my Twitter. And if you're new, subscribe, like, comment, share the video. Go click the notification button, get all my notifications. Love y'all, and goodbye.
He doesn't believe what he's saying. When he steps in that cage and actually has Patricio Pitbull, the GOAT, staring straight at him.
É round do campeão. Isso, garoto. Controla ele.
Be careful what you wish for, AJ McKee.
I'm gonna show everyone who is the best featherweight on the planet. Let's go.